We'll start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatraha Stirairangaihi Stuštuvagam Sastanobihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuho Swasti na Indro Vriddashravaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti Nastakshorarishtanemihi Swasti no Brihaspati'r Dadato Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We are studying Mundak Upanishad, consisting of 3 chapters, each chapter divided into 2 sections. So totally we have 6 sections. Right now we are doing the first chapter. We have finished the first section, which deals with para and apara vidya. These are 2 technical terms which have been introduced in this Upanishad, which has been used by sage Vyasa in his Bhagavad Gita chapter 7. And it's important to understand what is para and what is apara. In the Vedic language, para means the subject, I the subject, and I the subject means the pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss. So para vidya means the knowledge of the higher reality. We call it a reality because it is something which is common to the individual jiva, the jagat which he experiences, and the creator of the jagat, which is called as Ishvara. There is something common between the 3. The common element between the 3 is called as the reality, the higher nature. This higher nature is called as para vidya, supreme knowledge. Diagonally opposite to that is apara vidya. Not para is called as apara. Like atma and anatma. Atma vidya means para vidya. Anatma vidya means apara vidya. Apara vidya, in short, means the objective world which I experience. Right from my body, my mind, and whatever the sense organs are perceiving in the world is called as apara vidya. So you can take right from the cosmos, the whole Milky Way, the stars, the sun, the planets, the moon, everything in the world, coming down to earth and coming down to what I see in front of my eyes. And whatever the eye is perceiving is also this body. I can see this body with my eyes. I can see my hands, I can see my legs. All this is called as apara vidya. Objective world, subjective world. There is no text available in the modern science dealing with the subjective world. If you want to know who am I and what is the reality behind this whole universe, there is only one source. And the real source for that is the Upanishads. You have to come to these type of texts if you have a curiosity to know the world and to know yourself. The most important word introduced in the description of Paravidya in this Upanishad, it's called as Aksharam. Very, very important word. Aksharam means imperishable. It was there in the past, it is there now, it will be there in the future. If you look around and study, there is absolutely nothing in the world which is there all the time. In all the places, in all the objects, except the subject. The subject is called as the self. Sarvatma bhavaha is this self. It is the self of everything. It is the subject of the whole cosmos. And that is Aksharam. I must know this Aksharam, Brahma, in order to know that I am immortal being. Why do people come to study Upanishads? Everybody, if you ask anyone, even a 98-year-old, he will say, I would like to live some more time. 105 years old, some more time. Nobody feels that they should leave this world of objects, people, inertly. In their inner sense, they all want to live because that is the intrinsic nature. I always am is our actual experience. Only thing is I identify with the body and then I say that I am a mortal being. But intrinsically, everybody wants to gain immortality. This is the goal of all seekers. And in Veda, they call it moksha, freedom from limitations. I want to feel always that I am there, I am happy, and I am existing. Now, this is what the Upanishad is trying to tell is imperishable, higher nature of all of us. When we study any Upanishad, this is the goal. I have to discover in me what is it which I can segregate from the body mind complex, something which is permanent, something which is not changing. And that is the subject. How to discover that subject is what is this entire study of the Vedas, especially the Vedanta portion. So much for the introduction to this Upanishad, and let's go now into where we stopped last week. And that was the seventh verse of the second section. Now, the second section is dealing with Aparavidya. And Aparavidya means whatever I can gain through rituals in this world. That is the topic being discussed in this second section. And we have seen, and mainly the focus is on rituals. See, in the olden times, rituals were very, very common as a means to attain whatever we want to attain in this world as well as in the other worlds. It's a common belief in the Veda that we also have other lokas, 7 higher lokas, where we can take a body and enjoy pleasures in those lokas. That is Paraloka Phalam. Then there is people who are interested in Ihaloka Phalam. Ihaloka means in this world itself, I want to have a better quality of life. Somebody is not married, he says, okay, I want to get married. Somebody who's got married, he wants to have children, he does some yajna. So there are so many yajnas which were performed. Yajna means a fire ritual. Now this whole section is trying to tell us that you can get results from all rituals. But only thing you understand is that they are all impermanent. That is what the section will say in the end. In the 7th mantra, it talks about a particular ritual where a Yajamana, the host, and his wife, they engage 16 priests. They engage 16 priests to conduct a ritual. Now, this is the board of the yajna. You kindle a fire, you have 16 priests. Manned, Homakunda is manned by 16 priests. Now, 4 priests are for Rig Veda chanting. They are called as Hotraganaha. Then 4 priests are chanting Yajur Veda, Advaryu Ganaha. These are the names of the priests. These are all mentioned in the Veda. Then there is Sama Veda, Udgatir Ganaha. Atharvana Veda chanters are called as Brahmagana. Now, Yajamana and his wife, they become 2 more. That means you are using 18 karakams. And these are all accessories. When we use them, when the priests are there, they are called as karakams, karanams. These are all the instruments used for producing a yajna, and because of this yajna, you will get some result. What does this mantra say? It says that this type of yajna, which is managed by 18 supporters, it can give you results. But the ignorant person, he feels that this is the highest. And during old age also, he feels that this is the highest which you can attain in this world. So indirectly, the Upanishad is saying that there is something higher than this, which is the Paravidya. This mantra, the 8th mantra, is a very famous mantra. Shankaracharya quotes this. Many acharyas, many teachers, whenever they teach Upanishads, they quote this mantra. It's a very famous mantra of Upanishad. What does this 8th mantra say? Avidyayam antare vartamana swayam dhiraha panditam manyamana. I will explain to you, but this is the way it goes. Janganyamana pariyanti mudhaha andhe naiva niyamana yathadaha. So what does this say? This says that there are 3 types of ignorant people. Avidyamana means people who are ignorant. Swayam dhiraha panditaha manyamana. They think that they are panditas, that they think that they are very, very wise people. And therefore, they can be categorized into three parts. One is ignorant people, they know that they are ignorant. These are good people. At least they will go towards and ask people, they will approach wise people to get some knowledge. The second category is ignorant people thinking that they are wise. So what does this category? This category will think that they are wise, but this is a problem. This is the category which is full of confusions in life, because they think that they are wise and they act as if they are wise, but inherently they are ignorant. Then the third type is ignorant people. They think they are wise and they also lead others. So it's like blind leading the blind. Definitely they will fall. So the Upanishad basically wants to say that don't be an ignorant person trying to do all rituals to give you different lokas. Come out of that ignorance, which is avidya. Know your real nature and it will give you the highest benefit. You can get money, you can get power, you can get pleasures. But know that all these are bound, make you binding. It will make you binding, it will make you binding to the body and mind and the body. Desires can be binding desires or non-binding desires. Binding desires means I must have it. Without that, I feel incomplete. So most of the samsaris, they have binding desires. All of us, we all feel that, oh, if I buy a house, I'll be complete. If I have a car, it will be good. If I have something else. You know, for different people, it could be different. A student may think if I pass my examination in college, that will be the best. Maybe I will gain something. But nobody tells a person that you are complete by yourself, because that is your real nature. So this self-inadequacy is a cause of problem for samsara. These people don't know. There will be some more reasons given why we should not continue in the path of aparavidya. So the aparavidya is impermanent. It will give you some benefits, but not permanent benefit. A wise man should be look for what? He should look for something which will make him fulfilled in life. Having gained which, he will feel, I have had, my purpose in life is over. I came, I was born in the world. I have understood my nature as an immortal being, which is called as Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is my nature. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. The world is an appearance. I am the Satyam. I am the existence, consciousness, the substratum of the world. This is a transformation in the intellect. The knowledge of Upanishad transforms the intellect of a person. Anyway, that is what happens when you gain the paravidya. In verse number 11 of this second section, what it says is, when you do tapas with shraddha, controlling all your senses, and you live as if you have nothing else in the world except this goal, of reaching this Purusha. Now here, Purusha means the immortal, undecaying Purusha. When you have this goal of reaching the Purusha, that means you have the urge to realize your nature. If you have this as the goal, then you are in the right path. But if your goal of upasana or austerity is to gain power, siddhis, and control certain people, control certain aspects of this world, that is not the final goal. Again, it is saying that don't go after aparavidya. All this second section is only meant for us to come out of the objective pursuits in life. To a certain extent, all of us, we need it. You see, there are certain basic requirements we all need. There is absolutely nothing wrong in going after the basic necessities of life. But beyond that, the Upanishad wants you to realize your real nature. The 12th mantra is very often quoted by Shankaracharya and especially to the new students of Vedanta. Whenever Acharya wants to introduce the Vedanta, he will use this mantra. Pariksha lokan karmachitan dhamano nirvedam. What does this word say? This word says that, O student, why don't you objectively see for yourself, examine all the worlds. Whatever you can get from karma and upasana, first you study the world. Can you get immortality from this world by doing karma? Any type of karma, whether it is kahikam karma or manasa karma. Manasa karma means upasana. Can you get any result of actions which will be a permanent result, which will give you a permanent benefit? It's not possible. That is what this mantra is saying. Before you come to Vedanta, study your life. What have you done in your life for the last 40 years, 30 years, 25 years, whatever you have lived, 60 years? Check what you have done throughout your life. Everybody will say, I did either actions or I got knowledge. These are the only two things which we do. We use our karma indriyas, that means I keep on acting in the world, or I keep on gaining knowledge in the world. These are the two instruments which all of us possess. And these are the two broad categories of actions which we can take, which we can do. So Brahmana is a viveki. Viveki means a discriminative person. A person, Brahmana doesn't mean you are a Brahmana by caste and things like that. Any person, if you are discriminative, you are called as Brahmana. And what is the main discrimination you have? You have the discrimination that there is no happiness, fulfillment which I can get from the world, which is permanently with me. Therefore, I should look for something which gives me permanent happiness. Joy is born, joy is gone, because it is dependent on objects which are outside or persons outside. So any action will give us karma phala, fruit of action. I may have done some action 5 years ago, but I may get fruit after another 5 years. I got married, but I don't get children immediately. I may get after 5 years, I may get after 3 years. So your action is on at a particular time, but the phalam of that comes after a certain period of time. But that phalam, whenever it comes, it gives you temporary happiness. It is not something I have gained by which you can say I have got fulfillment in life. Therefore, what happens? The student of Upanishads, he gains dispassion. Nirvedam ayat. And how should you examine the world? With the help of Shruti, with the help of Yukti, and with the help of your own experience. What is the experience telling you? My experience tells me that nothing is permanent in this world. But what is Yukti telling me? Logic. There has to be something permanent. It cannot be that the world is without something which is always there. What is the Shruti saying? Shruti means Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Sutra. What is Upanishads telling? There is something called as Brahman, and which can be realized, which can give you permanent happiness, which can give you total fulfillment. The joy which you gain from the knowledge of the Upanishads is supposed to give you the reality of this whole universe, the knowledge about the reality. And so much so, it says that reality is hidden in your intellect. Realize yourself that Upanishad challenges you. Come, understand the nature of this universe, understand your own nature, and see whether you're able to get the thrill of life. Many people have walked this path. They have got what the Upanishads promise. I also can learn the Upanishads and gain the phalam. This is called as nitya phalam. We don't want happiness which lasts for 2 moments. All our actions we enjoy, but later on we regret. Oh, why did I do that? Why did I do this? We never get nitya sukha, no permanent joy. Kritena akritena. Something I did, something I didn't do. Both are giving me guilt. So, due to all these factors, a viveki means a discriminative person comes to paravidya. And what does he discover? He says that I can get the knowledge of the higher reality, not by doing something, but just gaining the knowledge. It is knowledge of my own nature. Actions, as I said before, it can give sukham, but not eternal sukham. Any karma can give only karma phalam. Kim prayojanam? What is the use of this karma phalam? Kaivalya Upanishad says, na karmana, na prajaya dhanena, tyage naike amrutatva manushuhu, parena nakam nihitam guhayam, vibhrajate yad tayo vishanti. We have seen in many, many Upanishads, you will find that there is a criticism of karma. Only to glorify knowledge. See, karmas have their own benefits, no doubt. But when you want to glorify knowledge, then the Upanishad says you can't get things, you can't get this Atma Vidya by karma. You can't even get it by upasana, because upasana is also another type of karma only. So, what should a person do then? The Upanishad says, approach a guru, offer something in humility. This was all practiced in the olden times. In the modern times, it's all times of WhatsApp. WhatsApp, people will send a question and say, can you answer to me within the next 5 minutes? This is the way today the world is. Oh, Guru, if you are my Guru, then please do this. Send me an answer of my question immediately. But in the olden days, Shrotriyasya Bhushanam Sutam, one who has ears, he will go to a Shrotriya Brahmanishtam. The ears can be used for hearing auspicious things or rubbish in this world. Badram karne vishrunayama devaha, badram pashyema. This is what we chant every day when every Saturday before the class we chant this. What does this prayer say? Let my ears hear good, auspicious things. Let me have the strength to understand this Veda. Let me see, let my eyes read the Vedas. Indirectly, it is teaching us, don't waste your time too much about the worldly things. Yes, we all need to learn about what is going on in the world, be in touch with the worldly news, but unfortunately, most of us, we get carried away and miss the real purpose in life. These are all, these verses teach us how to come to this study, that's all. Brahmanishta means the person who knows the truth and abides in it. A guru is a Brahmanishta. Will a teacher teach? If I have the qualifications, will a teacher teach? That is what is answered in the next mantra. To that student who has approached in a proper manner, whose mind is not wavering, whose mind is not restless. See, as a student, first of all, I should become qualified. Now, this verse talks about the qualification of a student and the qualification of a teacher. Both. For a couple of verses are there, it will teach us this aspect. So, a student has a mind, again, without binding desires. He controls the urges of his mind, maybe 80%, 50%, 60%. Not a student who is completely in the dark and who doesn't know how to go, what are the preparations required. That is why I always insist, please study Tattva Bodha first. Because Tattva Bodha is a gem of a book. It tells the students' qualifications, it tells the teacher's qualifications, it tells what is the Atma Vidya we are supposed to gain, it tells the nature of the reality, it tells us why we don't realize that reality. Complete text. Very beautiful text, Tattva Bodha. If you have not done Tattva Bodha, please do that before you enter into any of these higher studies. Now, Upanishad says that a teacher must teach a person who is already ready. And if he is asking for Brahma Vidya, see, if a student knows that all my pursuits in life are meaningless, I am after this goal, and he approaches the teacher and says, please teach me. The teacher must teach him according to the Veda. It is a rule in the Veda itself. If in front of you, if there is an aspiring student, the teacher must teach him that imperishable truth. And many times in the Gurukulas, normally they ask you, what type of a student are you? Are you like the student of Keno Upanishad, which I mentioned last 2 weeks ago? What is the type of Keno Upanishad student was? Are you Kathopanishad type of a student, Nachiketa? Basically, it means, do you have Viveka and do you have Vairagya? Don't engage in useless activities of studying astrology, palmistry, numerology. So many people, they waste their time. Here, the clear focus is given. Be a discriminative student, have the vairagyam to move away from the objective world and approach the right teacher. So far, what have you seen? A quick revision. The teacher's name is Angiras. Shaunaka is the student. And the Shaunaka is asking, is there any science, if I come to know, I can know everything in the world? That is the question asked by the student. Then the teacher says, yes, I will teach you something called as Paravidya, another is called Aparavidya. What you're asking is the knowledge of the Supreme. It is not an object of the mind or the senses, but it is the science of your own self, which is called as Brahma Vidya. The scope of Brahma Vidya was mentioned in the first section. In the second section, the scope of Apara Vidya was mentioned. And what is the end, what is the conclusion of the second section? Through karma and upasana, through finite action and finite meditations, I can reach up to Pitruloka, Devaloka, but that is not the final goal. Because Bhagavad Gita says in the 8th chapter, after going to all those lokas, when your punyam is over, you'll come back to this earth again. So what is the use? That is the Viveki's position. One who understands the futility of karma and karma phala, he becomes dispassionate and then he struggles and comes for the highest knowledge. Okay, so we have finished the first chapter consisting of 2 sections. And the first chapter, I said there were some important mantras. In the second section, verse number 12, which we did today, is the important mantra. So far, I have given 4 mantras in chapter 1, which are section 1, which are important. Verse number 3, 4, 6, and 7 of the first section, and verse number 12 of the second section. The second verse 12 talks about Parikshalokan. Each student must do this himself or herself. Very important point. When you are studying something for a long period of time, before you enter, even now you can do it. Just find out, just go through, take a piece of paper and write down, what have I experienced so far in life? How did I spend my number of years? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just say 4 things. Then these are the things I did. What did I get out of it? Phalam. If I continue in the same way the rest of my life, what will I get? Okay, this is one part of the analysis. The second part of the analysis is, I want to do something different. What should I do? Can I take this Upanishads and take it as a goal of life? Goal of life, huh? Not 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. Goal of life. Till I am convinced that the knowledge which the Upanishad is giving is the truth, I will be studying these Upanishads. Again and again, doesn't matter. Because that is the purpose of life. You can spend 1 hour, you can spend half an hour, you can spend, once a week, you can attend these type of sessions, but it will keep you in the path of Brahma Vidya. Now let's go to the second chapter. There are 3 chapters. Second chapter, and then there will be another chapter. The second chapter is also a very important chapter, because this section 1 and 2, they talk about Brahma Vidya. So when you study Upanishads, this Mundak Upanishad, you should know what is the main thing in the 3 chapters, which one you should focus, which one you can drop. That is why I keep giving you the important mantras. In this section, verse number 1 and 2 are the most important. 2 verses in this section 1. Let us see what is the first and what is the second verse. So as I said, this chapter is a central portion of Mundak Upanishad. The 3rd chapter deals mainly with the phalam. That means you get Jivan Mukti, Videha Mukti, and so on. But the focus should be on this chapter. In this chapter, this very, very beautiful section, the lot of lovely mantras which come, 6 beautiful mantras, they come in the second section. 2 sections, in the first section, 2 lovely mantras, second section, 6 mantras are there. Very beautiful, you'll enjoy them. Okay, the first mantra of this second section says, it gives you an example. Because now we are entering into Brahma Vidya. What is this subject? Who am I? The subject is called as Brahman. In the Upanishad, you must know the term called as Brahman. And slowly, when you do each of these Upanishads, you will gain 2 aspects of Brahman. Number 1, what is this Brahman? What is this subject? What does it, how does it, what is the nature of this subject? That is one thing you should focus on. That is why that Adreshyam, Avarnam, Achakshusotram, all that mantra, mantra number, which I said, number 6 of the first section of the first chapter. That is what is the focus. It tells me there is Brahman of this nature. The second aspect of the study should be how I can realize that in me. That is the most difficult thing to do. For that, you need to contemplate. You need to apply your mind again and again in the nature of that Brahman as yourself. And how to do that, this particular section teaches us. In this first mantra, it tells us, like you have a wood, a log of wood, and you get, when you ignite the log of wood, the fire will come. When the fire comes, there are sparks which are generated. The sparks also we can see. This is an example because in the olden Vedic days, yajnas were very famous. So the Upanishad uses a standard example which everybody will understand. Like a flame is in a fire and thousands of sparks similar to the flame, they are brought forth. Similarly, there is one reality which is called as Brahman. From that Brahman, so many intellects can come, like a spark. So many minds can come. So many sthula sharirams can come. They can come, they are born, and they also resolve back into the same Brahman. See how important this mantra is. Very important for contemplation. Very beautiful mantra. A log of wood is very easy to understand. Flame, the flame comes out is also easy. Sparks are also coming out of that log from the flame only, and then where does the sparks resolve? Into the flame itself, because ultimately it is the same nature. The spark has got a light, small light. A fire may have a bigger light, but a spark may have small infinitesimal part of the same nature as the flame. Similarly, all of us are all jivas. We are born like the spark. And we live in this world for a few years. So what is the knowledge? I am born from a reality which is called as God. There is something called as God who is permanently there. I'm not talking about the Sthula Sharira. I'm not talking about the Sukshma Sharira. But I'm talking about the Karana Shariram for a Jiva, which our eyes cannot see. But we have that Sharira. That Shariram, Karana Shariram, is always with Ishvara. In the night when I go to sleep, I am one with that Karana Shariram. In the waking state, I can see visibly a Sthula Shariram, gross body. I can imagine there is a Sukshma Shariram, a subtle body, because I have emotions. I have thoughts. Thoughts and emotions do not belong to the Sthula Shariram, the gross body. They belong to the Sukshma Shariram. But beyond this Sukshma Shariram, the cause of the Sukshma Shariram and the Sthula Shariram, according to Mundak Upanishad, is the Karana Sharira, or the Karana Prapancha, which is called as Maya. This is where the topic becomes very subtle. And this is what we analyze in our Wednesday classes. You know, we have classes on Panchadasi. On Wednesdays, we go very deep into this Karana Shariram. We go deep into the causal nature. So a lot of things we study there, but just for your information is that we all have something which is invisible, which is unmanifest. It is a potential condition of a jiva, which I do not know today. Potential condition, nobody knows. Everybody thinks this Sthula Shariram is the only reality. Born and gone, born and gone. Nobody thinks that there is some unmanifest condition of mind, which the Vedanta, which Upanishad, they tell us, you are not the gross body, you are not the subtle body, you are not even the Karana Shariram, which you experience in the sleep state. But there is something which is beyond the Karana Shariram, which is called as Brahman, which is called as Atma. That is what is your real nature. So that is the nature of Brahman we are talking about. We are not talking about our Sthula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram. All jivas rise and disappear into this reality. Okay, so that is the essence of the first one. Verse number 2 is again giving us a description of this Brahman, like the verse number 6 of the first section. The first verse is important because of the example. Just to remember the example, because in Mundak Upanishad, this example is extremely famous and is often quoted whenever, again, I'm telling you, these are all mantras which are quoted whenever somebody is teaching Vedanta. Very often quoted verses. So the second verse, it gives again indicators. Divyoya murte purushaha sabhayah bhavyo antaraha, then aprano amanaha subro aksharat parata paraha. Very beautiful mantra. See, these are all mantras, again and again I repeat, for meditation. I am of this nature. I am of this nature. I am self-resplendent. What is the meaning of this? Self-effulgent. I don't depend on anything. This Brahman is without a cause. There is no cause for Brahman, which means there is no cause for me. I am Anadi. I am not born and gone. I am always there. If you realize this while you're living, while in the waking state itself, if you're realizing this, you are called as Mukta Purushaha. Only knowledge. Don't worry about people, because people who have come and gone, they were also Brahman. Only thing they didn't know, ignorant. So there is nothing to worry about people who have come and people who have gone. Nothing to worry, because that is the essence of this whole teaching. We are all immortal beings. Swami Vivekananda used to say this very often. If you read his books, again and again he used to hamper on this particular mantra. Mundak Upanishad, this particular mantra, very important mantra, which says you see, there's one word there, Divyoya Murte. Divya means self-effulgent. Amurtaha means formless. Purushaha. Purusha means not female or male. Male and female belongs to the Sthula Sharira. I am that pure light of consciousness. That is what the Upanishad is teaching me. I don't understand today, but that is the truth. We will see all this meaning one by one. Brahman is called as Divyaha, divine consciousness. See, consciousness is different than inert material body. I am a conscious person. Are you like a table? No. Are you like a stone? No. Are you aware that you have emotions? Yes. Are you a thinking person? How do you know you are a thinking person? Not because you have thoughts, not because you have a mind, but you are aware. You're conscious. That consciousness is called as Brahman. The realization of the truth takes place in Shravanam, when you study these type of mantras. During Shravanam, if you are listening with 100% mind, focus, Drop everything else while studying Vedanta. What is the Veda teaching me? I am consciousness. I am not an inert body. Divi means there are different meanings to Divyaha. Divya means divine, heavenly, not a worldly object. Worldly object is all inert. Another meaning of Divya is pure consciousness. Divya also means something which is shining. Something which is shining not of this world, but something which is shining in your intellect, which is aware of your thoughts. We're going to do another beautiful mantra in the next section about this shining, na tatra suryo bhati. Just remember that. This is consciousness which is shining in the intellect, which we are praying to in our Gayatri mantra, which I mentioned to somebody in the last session in Wednesday. So this is the shine of consciousness in our intellect. Because of this light of consciousness, which is the pure I. When I say I am, I should always refer to this light of consciousness. I am young, I am old, I am wise, I am ignorant, all that is attributes. I am, full stop, is consciousness. That is Divyaha. It does not shine because of the sun. It does not shine because of anything else in the world, because this is the Karanam of the whole Jagat. And it is causeless. It doesn't have another cause. Very beautiful. These are all very important points. Slowly, if your intellect is able to understand them, it will be good, because then you will be able to understand the deeper meanings of what is this consciousness. These are all different terms which are slightly different than what we have studied as Adreshyam, Agotram, Avarnam, Achakshusotram, and so on in the first section. Amurtaha. Amurtaha means Murta and Amurta. These are two technical terms which are used in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. When I'll be teaching Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, there is a full section in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad which talks about Murta Prapancha, Amurta Prapancha. Murta Prapancha means which is with form. Amurta Prapancha means which is formless. If you take the 5 elements, 3 elements are with form. Can you guess which are the 3 ones? Earth, water, fire. These are Murta Prapancha. Any object made of these 3 elements have got form. What are the 2 elements which don't have form? Very simple, the balance 2. What are the balance 2? Air and space. They don't have any form. Now, consciousness, space has got no form. But consciousness, space is an effect, is a product. What is the cause of space? Cause of space, according to Taittiriya Upanishad, is Brahman. If space itself doesn't have form, can the cause have a form? No. That is how we analyze in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Therefore, here also, Amurta Prapancha means it is formless. But what is consciousness? It is the cause of Amurta Prapancha. Form belongs to the body. Negation of the Gross body is negation of form. But sentiency, which is there, is a manifestation of pure consciousness. What do you mean? What do you mean by sentiency? Do you feel that taste in the tongue? Do you feel there is ears can hear? You feel the eyes can see? What is the light in which the eyes are seeing, ears are hearing, the tongue is tasting? That light is called the light of consciousness, or which is the sentiency which is expressed in a body. So sentiency is what? It is a manifest form of pure consciousness. Electricity is pure. When it goes through the bulb, it gives you the light. When it goes through the mic, it can expand the sound. When it goes through the through your car, it can run. It can, when a fan moves, it is because it is rotating because of the electricity. So different manifestations are possible. So similarly, the sentiency in the body of the five sense organs is this consciousness. See, so beautiful. How powerful is this mantra? If you are able to just contemplate on this one mantra, you are reached home, your house, your real home, which is this consciousness. Purusha means Purnavat Purushaha or Purnat Purushaha. Purnavat Purusha means what? All full, inclusive of everything. Not a man or a woman. Purusha means it is including of the whole Jagat, the one subject behind the whole universe. All pervading nature. When we say Purusha also means all pervading. It fills everything. It fills the entire universe. So the second indicator is Amurtaha. Amurtaha means it is consciousness which is formless. Simple. The third indicator is Na Bahya, Na Antaraha. Na Bahya means what? It doesn't have an external or it doesn't have an internal dimension. How do I understand this? Dimensions will come only when you have reference to the body-mind complex. Suppose I close my eyes and just ask myself, who am I? You will be saying, I am the pure consciousness, pure existence. This pure consciousness and existence does not have interior or exterior. It is one mass of consciousness. Like space. See, space exists in a pot, it exists in a hall, it exists in a stadium, and space exists in the whole cosmos. The pot space is because of the enclosure. The room space is because of the enclosure of the four walls. Similarly, the self which is there enclosed in one body-mind complex appears to be limited. But the real nature of consciousness is, it is na bahya, na antaraha. Self illumines the world. When we say self illumines the world, that consciousness is the illuminating factor in the mind. The mind is the illuminating factor of the sense organs. And the sense organs are the illuminating factor for the external world. We refer to consciousness when in this form, in this way. How do we say it is in the external world. How can I see it in the external world? As existence. Whatever in the world, see, these are all slightly abstract, but this is how your mind should develop. Whatever in the world we say it is existent, it is existent, it is existing. The day is existent, the night is existent, whatever comes, all actions during the day is all existence. The chair is existent, I am existent, the world is existent. But existence is not a part of the world. This is what you should understand. It is a separate, independent entity. Consciousness is not a part of the world or the part of the body, not a part of the mind. It is an independently existing substance, something which is independent. Ajaha. Ajaha means it is unborn. Anything with form can be born because I can see it. The pot is born, plants are born because of the seed. So all these are all born. But consciousness, is it born? No. It is ever existing Sat principle, free of all modifications. Always it is the same. For example, suppose you take yourself. There are two elements in this body. One is the changing element, another is the changeless element. I didn't know this before till I come to Upanishads. The changing element is called as Anatma, matter principle, made up of 5 elements. The changeless principle is called as Atma. And that is always there. In sleep it is there, in waking it is there, in dream it is there. It is self-effulgent, na bahya, na antara, ajaha. That is why in Kathopanishad, this famous mantra comes, na jayate mriyate va vipaschit, nayam kutaschin na babuva va kaschit, ajo nitya sashvatoryam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. This is from Kathopanishad. The same mantra comes in Gita, Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 20th verse. Same, just slight difference in 2 words. What is the meaning of this? This Atman is not born. This Atman does not die. What gets born and what dies is the Sthula Shariram. This Atma does not spring from anything. Nothing has come out of this Atma also. This is unborn, eternal, everlasting, ancient. That is the subject. So beautiful, isn't it? When I come to Upanishad, I ask a simple question to the Guru. Who am I? The Guru has to take the pains of opening up each Upanishad and go to the depth of these verses to convince the student that this is what you have been searching. Contemplate on this, realize yourself, and be fulfilled. That's all. As a student of Vedanta, suppose, okay, I'm giving you, assume, why don't you assume? Suppose I'm able to realize this. What a joy I will get. I am never born. I am always there. This is the ultimate conclusion of a spiritual student. Apranaha. Apranaha means I am not the body. The body has got pranas. Pancha prana is something which keeps the body alive. Pancha prana belongs to the subtle body. I have studied the Tattva Bodha. which says that the subtle body consists of 17 parts, 5 jnana indriyas, 5 karma indriyas, 5 pranas, mind and intellect, 17. That is the subtle body. But I am not the subtle body. I am the Atma. I am the pure Brahman. Manaha, again, subtle body. This Atma doesn't have a mind. This Atma doesn't have the body, Stula Sharira, but it is consciousness. Shubhraha, extremely pure. Shuddhaha. Shuddhaha means what? It doesn't have any impurities of your mind. Mind has got 6 ripuhus, enemies, inner enemies. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Matsarya, Moha. All the 6 are inner enemies for all of us. You open up any mind, you will have these 6. It will be there. No mind is without these 6 inner enemies. And these 6 enemies, they are always projecting thoughts. And they are covering my reality. This is what is called as Maya. This mind is called as Maya. What is Atma? Shubhraha. Extremely pure. I can close my eyes. I can say, with the knowledge of Mundak Upanishad, I am pure consciousness without any impurities of the mind. Aksharat Paratap Paraha. Aksharat. I'm not the causal body. See, causal body is Aksharam. It is also relatively imperishable. The Stula Shariram, Sukshma Shariram, Stula Shariram is perishes immediately after the body goes. Sukshma Shariram perishes during Pralayam. But Karana Shariram always is with Ishvara. You're a part of that Ishvara, Karana Sharira. As a Karana Shariram, Punya Papam, that Karana Shariram is a part. You're always with Ishvara. Invisible. It is not visible. The Jiva is Anadi. He is always Anadi, he is always with Ishvara. I don't have to worry about anything. Prakriti is constantly changing, perishing. That is what the body, mind is Prakriti. World of names and forms is constantly perishing and it is changing. Moment to moment. See, the day has come, evening has come, night will come. Aren't these changes? If the day, night, and you see, these are all external. Internally, waking, dream, and sleep. I am a waker, I am a dreamer, I am a sleeper. Every day, does it happen to you or not? Yes. That is what I am a waker is name and form. I am a dreamer is name and form. When I'm identified with the physical body, I call myself waker. When I'm identified with my Sukshma Shariram, only my mind, I'm called a dreamer. When I'm identified with the causal body, which is ignorance, I don't know anything in that state. That is what is called a sleeper. But beyond this waker, dreamer, and sleeper, there is a Purusha, which is the witness, a Sakshi. Parata Paraha, it is beyond all relative existences. Prakriti has got 2 natures. What is seen, perceived by the 5 sense organs is called as manifest condition. What is unseen is called as unmanifest condition, which is what is called as Karana Sharira, Karana Prapancha. But beyond that is this Purusha. See, this mantra is extremely subtle mantra, but it can take you straight to your pure nature. And these are all the mantras which can be used in meditation. These are the mantras I have taken in my meditative sessions. I finished about 80 sessions of mine on meditations. You can go through them. It's available in the website. If you need it, you can just write to me. I can send you the link. So, self of all beings is the substratum of the world, isn't it? You see, if I'm ultimately you're reaching your own self. I drop the physical body, causal, subtle body, and causal body. When I drop all these three, where do I get? What is the remainder? The remainder is not nothing. It is the substrat. It is called as Atma. It is called as self. Self of this body. Similarly, the whole world. There is a self of the whole cosmos. And that self is called as Ishvara. But between this the self of the body, mind, and the Ishvara, there is something common which is called as Brahman. And that is what is called as Sat Chit Ananda Swarup. A complete analysis of Satyam, Chaitanyam, Anantatvam will be taken up in Taittiriya Upanishad. These are technical terms, but we will study it more. But right now, what I should understand is I am real. I am the reality behind this body-mind complex. And from the Upanishads, this I can realize. You see, I am the reality behind this body, all of us can realize, because I can do this viveka. This Atma is the reality behind the whole universe you get from Mahavakyam of the Upanishads. There is only one source which tells me that ultimately the self in this body and the self in the whole cosmos is the same. It is the knowledge of the Mahavakyam. Tattvamasi. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am Atma Brahma. These are all the Mahavakyams. We will be studying all this. But here I'm just telling you how I can realize the truth. Every session of mine, if you see, during the session itself, you can go so deep into your own intellect and realize the self. Distinct from three bodies is this self. And this Atma can never become an object. The objects in the world are given name because they have a form. Vacharambanam vikaro namadeyam. This is what is said. Mritika eva satyam. This is said in Chandogya Upanishad. I'm just quoting it because it comes in this. What they say is, in the Chandogya Upanishad, is everything in the world is nothing but name and form. It is existing in my tongue. That's all. But what is behind this? Like, for example, what is clay and what is pot? Pot is a name and form given to clay. Similarly, the whole cosmos is a name and form given to consciousness. If I can realize this one thing, I can realize the entire cosmos. This is the answer given to Shaunaka from Angiras. Knowing what? Knowing this consciousness, the reality, the subject in me, which is formless and timeless, I can know all the objects because they all exist only when I exist as Aham. That is why Lord Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter, he said, again, I think it was the 20th verse, he says, Aham Atma Gudakeshaha. The greatest glory of mine is Aham. Why is it this greatest glory? I. Without this I, nothing can exist. Without consciousness, nothing can exist. Without Lord Krishna in the form of consciousness, the world doesn't exist. That is the meaning of aham. See, the methodology of teaching in the Upanishad is indicators are given for the subject because it cannot be described formless. It is formless. The object, they disappear. Objects can be seen by the sense organs. They are perceived, not perceived. When they are not perceived, what remains? The subject remains. That is what you should understand as the real me. Divya, Amurta, Ajaha, Purusha, Ananda, all these are para vidya. They are all describing me. They are trying to tell me who I am. Go deeper into these meanings, you will get to your own subjective reality. If you try to understand it objectively, it becomes aparavidya. Don't try to take objectively, suppose for example, ajaha. You start saying, okay, it is not like a child who is born. You are taking it objectively, but take it, I am that consciousness which is not born. That is taking it as subjective. Vedanta vakyeshur sadaramantaha. A person who is always reveling in this Vedanta vakyams like this mantra, sadaramantaha. He is always enjoying in his own nature. When you do this type of contemplation, your mind gets the strength to understand what the Veda is trying to teach us. These are the mantras. Use them to gain strength in your mind, and you will reach the goal, which is Satchit Anand. Etasma jayate. I'll try to finish this mantra if possible, and we'll then stop. Etasma jayate pranaha manas sarvendriyani cha kham vayor jyoti apaha prithvi vishwasya dharini. Another very, very important mantra quoted very often by Shankaracharya in his commentaries of different topics. In Vedanta, this is a very important, because this again tells us what I am and what I am not. What does this mantra say? From him are born the prana. From him means what? From that Brahman, from that Shakti, from that powerful, whatever you can call it, God. What is born? Prana is born, mind is born, the sense organs are born, the Akasha is born, Vayu is born, Jyoti is born, fire is born. The Pancha, 5 elements are born from that Brahman. You see, what is it? What does it say? It means that that pure consciousness supports all this cosmos. This is the way I should understand creation. Creation is manifestation, unmanifestation, but beyond both manifestation and unmanifestation, there is a substratum. Without a substratum, you cannot have the projection of the world. This is a realization mantra. This is a Mahavakyam. Try to understand this mantra well. It is like Mayeva Sakalam Jatam of Kaivalya Upanishad. I'm trying to connect you to the previous Upanishad which we did. Very similar to that mantra. Why? Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, Mayi Sarvam Pratishitam, Mayi Sarvam Layam Yati is the definition of Brahman in Kaivalya. Similarly here, etasma jayate pranaha manas sarvendriyani cha kham vayor jyotir apaha prithvi vishwasya dharini. Very beautiful mantra to remember. From Atma is born the pranaha, manaha, the senses, and the five elements. The whole creation has come from it, from Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That pure existence, pure consciousness, pure bliss without the world, that is my nature. Here the word, here is the proof. It is the proof of the Shruti, often quoted. Where do you find Brahman and all that? Here, this is the mantra. How from pure Brahman the whole creation comes? It is because of Maya Shakti. There is a power. I am speaking for 1 hour. You are listening for 1 hour. You are a listener. I am a speaker. Isn't there a power behind this body? Isn't there a Shakti? Continuously you're listening, you're focused, you are able to understand so clearly. That power is consciousness. Realize it right now. It doesn't have birth or death. And we are all that supreme consciousness. With the Maya Upadhi, I am called as Jiva. With the body mind, I am called as Jiva. Without the body mind, I am called as Atma. Without the universe, it is called as Brahman. That's all. It's so easy. If you understand clearly, step by step, this whole Vedanta is very easy. Simple. But effort is required to attend classes so that your mind grows gradually to pick up this knowledge. World comes out from Maya, Visishta Brahman, Maya with Brahman, like the sparks come out of the log of wood. We have seen that. There is Agni Tattvam in the body. Agni Tattvam means, we have studied in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva, that mantra. The Agni Tattvam in the body is the fire element. The same fire which exists outside is there in this body. The same consciousness which is there in Brahman, it is there in this body. That is the meaning of this verse. Because ultimately, the cause pervades the effect. Brahman is the cause, effect, product is the whole cosmos. If Brahman is consciousness and existence, this world will be existence and consciousness. How do I experience the world? Do I experience the world as existing or non-existence? This is the question asked by the disciple in the Taittiriya Upanishad. Very beautiful section in Taittiriya Upanishad. How can the student asked the teacher, tell me, give me 7 reasons why I should accept Brahman. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The teacher starts saying. And one major answer there is, Brahman is the cause, existing principle. And the teacher asked the question, do you experience everything as non-existence or existence? The student wakes up. Yes. Everything is existent. If the effect is existent, what is the cause? Cause is existent. That is why we call it Satyam. Pure existence. From where the whole world effect is come. So that pure Brahman with the Shakti of Maya is this whole cosmos, but that Brahman is mindless, prana-less. Rope, which is conditioned by ignorance, is the cause of rope snake. Now we are taking another example to explain this whole world. A rope snake is a very famous example. I will just take, it's already time up, but I'll take 1 minute just to explain this one chart. Otherwise, I'll take this up next week because this is a new um, topic which needs to be slightly explained. I will start with the 43rd slide next Saturday. I will end the session now. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay, Bharat, okay. Kathopanishad, okay, there's no question here in the, okay, there's one question just to come up. Is Prakriti the same as Maya Upadhi? Yes, Pooja, that's correct. Prakriti is also called as Maya. See, Prakriti means nature. Nature means, Prakriti means the three gunas. The three gunas are Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Now, that is what is called as Maya. Sattva plus Rajas plus Tamas is called as Maya.
Yes.
And one you should remember is this Prakriti has got two conditions. One is manifest condition when we see the whole cosmos, in the waking state. And then Prakriti has another condition which is called as unmanifest condition, which is what is our sleep world. So Prakriti means matter. Matter has got two conditions, like you have water has got ice, vapor, and solid and liquid water. Whereas matter, which is the Prakriti, has got Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, or you can say it has got manifest and unmanifest. The sleep state is called the Tamas, which is the unmanifest condition. So what is the whole world? World is Maya. It's very, very famous quotation in Upanishads. Whenever the mind is awake, I'm aware of the world. When the mind is not awake, I am aware of my own real nature, which is the pure consciousness. Beyond this Maya and Prakriti, there is something called as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. That is the study of Upanishads. And that is what we are seeing in all Divya Yamurte, that Aksharam, all that indicators are all something which is beyond Maya. Is it clear, Pooja?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. Anybody else has any other question?
Hariom Shakaji, is Bharat here?
Yeah, Bharat, tell me.
I have a question. In terms of Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahman, and hence it implies Advaitam, non-duality. Would it be fair to say, when you say we are, Brahman is the self is the substratum of both the manifest and the unmanifest. It's neither one of those. It's the ground of that.
Yes,
so
you're right.
so taking from in terms of non-duality, any duality that you see, manifest, unmanifest, vidya, avidya, any pairs of opposites, it's that is all what's the word, seen. It's something that's seen.
Correct.
And that then leaves a subtle duality between the seer and the seen, and
Yes.
and that is also a subtle duality. So it's what's supporting that seer-seen relationship.
Yeah, you're right.
Would that be correct?
Absolutely right. Your understanding is perfect. And the seer seen is only whenever there is a mind, there is a tripoti. Tripoti
Yeah.
means the seer, seen, and the instrument. So beyond this seer, seen instrument, the tripoti lies the substratum.
So just a follow-up question to that. So anything my mind thinks of, any form of like mental thinking I do, straight away I can say, well, if I'm thinking of it, it's not that.
Yes,
But
exactly.
but
Yes.
then I can also say that just like how I know I have eyes because I am seeing, the process of cognizing, even negation, immediately that is like a pointer back to me. The fact that you're able to negate
Yes.
is a pointer back to what is that's doing that negating? What is that's doing the vichara?
Yeah.
I'm not able to express, I'm sorry.
Okay. So you have reached up to a certain point where you are saying that there is a cognizing principle in this body mind complex, which is also negating. You see, what happens is the mind itself is gaining this knowledge, and it is saying that I am not that thought which is rising in my mind. And who is saying that? It is the mind.
The mind, yes.
But can this mind exist by itself? No. How do I know this? Only through the Upanishads.
Yep.
The one which is behind the negator in the mind is this consciousness. And that is why they say that even the mind is an upadhi. It is only a medium to reflect this consciousness. It is trying to reveal consciousness to me. That's all. The body is trying to reveal consciousness to me. The thought is trying to reveal consciousness to me. Exactly like the moonlight is a upadhi for the sunlight. So you have reached up to the level of negator of your thoughts. That negator of your thoughts and is the ego. It is not the consciousness. Consciousness is only illuminating that negator, which is the knower of your thoughts. But beyond this knower is this ultimate seer, which is the consciousness. I'm very happy that you have brought this because it shows that you have thought extremely deeply on this matter. I'm very, very happy to see that this question raised because it's a very deep question and which is a very penetrative question of your own mind. But you have to use the knowledge of the Upanishads and say, I am not that. I'm not the negator also of the thoughts.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? How can knowledge of apara vidya give us purity of mind as it is connected with the lower level of reality? Okay, good, very good question. Okay, why do we say apara vidya means you don't take all the apara vidyas which will give you purity of mind? See, purity of mind, there are only certain types of apara vidya, like upasana. It gives you how to concentrate, how to make your mind more focused, how to make the mind remain on a particular topic for a particular length of time, how to extend that aptitude of your mind to keep analyzing a particular topic for a certain span of time. How to do that? That is all comes from japa. It comes from upasana. It comes from chantings. These are all small, small things, but they are very useful. Like Vishnu Sahasranama chanting, like doing some small, small pujas at home. These are all helpful because this is, even though it is apara vidya, it will give you purity of mind. Even though it is connected with the lower level of reality, see, in the Upanishads, they say that use this apara vidya to purify your mind. Whenever you say, take up any ritual, any type of sadhana, and say that this sadhana I'm doing only to purify my mind. Oh Lord, help me. I am not asking anything from the world, because whatever the Lord, whatever this body mind complex has to receive as per prarabdha, it will get. Sukham and dukham, it will come. There cannot be any change in that. It is prarabdha karma, is a part of the law of nature. Now, what I am asking is the strength of mind, the purity of mind. Without the purity of mind, I can never reach this Vedanta. Because you are pure, you have come to up to this level of the sessions, Vedantic sessions, Upanishad. These are all not so easy to get. Some punyam, some merit you have had, therefore you are coming into this. So to answer straight your question is, there are some knowledge of the apara world which I should try to gain for the purity of mind, like karma yoga, like upasana yoga, sometimes hatha yoga also. They have 8 principles by which the last 3-4 principles, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, all those are all related to purifying the mind. But after purifying the mind, don't stop there. Come to the Upanishads, because that is where the pearl of the wisdom lies. That is where your whole intellect can blossom into a totally new reality, which your apara vidya will not give you. Only para vidya will give you, because that is the truth of the cosmos. When you do the Mahavakya Vichara, you realize this, oh my God, this is so powerful, so beautiful. It is taking my mind deeper and deeper into the reality of the whole cosmos. And this is the truth. I mean, like for example, people believe for ages that the sun is going round, and but then somebody came and said, sun is not going around, but it's the earth which is going around. It's just a knowledge. Even though it's an intellectual knowledge, I see the sunrise sun rises every day. I use it in the transactions. Similarly, use this paravidya in your own intellect, let it remain, so that you are in touch with that immortal principle. When you go through these verses, these indicators, it gives you a glimpse of that immortal reality. All of us, you will get it, for sure you will get it. That is the purpose of this study, you will get it. But hold on to that glimpse as a real thing. It is not something which is born and gone, but it is always there. Am I clear, Srivatsan?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Is astrology also apara vidya? Yes. This verse itself says astrology. You see, in Chandogya Upanishad, there's a very beautiful question asked by Narada to his guru. I have studied astrology, I've studied palmistry, I've studied this science, the science of the earth, and where to find, different water, this, that. So many sciences, he says. And I've got a PhD in all those subjects, but I don't have Brahma Vidya. You see, that is what is the difference between para and apara. Till I get Brahma Vidya, I will be always in samsara. My mind will go back into the world again and again. It's considered as a limb of Veda Anga, so I'm confused. So don't get confused. It is a part of Aparavidya. You can study it. You see, all this astrology, palmistry, and all it, you can study it for interest's sake. People do, for example, why do people do medical science? Why do people study physics? Why do people study? Because it gives us some benefits in life. I do IT, for example. I get knowledge. I can earn money. And that money is required for life. It's okay. So similarly, you have an interest, go and study. Sometimes we get suffering at that time, even with this knowledge of Vedanta. At that time, how to deal with the situation? Good, very good question, Akshay. Okay. See, this is a very important point in our spiritual study. See, in spiritual study, we must remember that when I study about the spirit, about Atma, about Brahman and all that, I still have to live in this world as per the prarabdha, the karma of the body. As a jnani also, you take all the Swamijis. You might have come across so many Swamijis in life. Take their life history. You will find invariably most of the Swamijis also suffered in spite of Brahma Vidya. So having the knowledge of Paravidya, which is a transcendental knowledge, you should not expect the sorrow of this body-mind complex to go away. Suffering may be there. The only way to get rid of the suffering is just face it. That's all. It's just today it is there. Only have the knowledge. It will not be there tomorrow. After 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, it will go away. See, the suffering is mainly due to our weak mind, which is throwing up the sorrow. It is projecting these sorrows as real. The moment you understand, as per Vedanta, this is a projection of the mind. Today it is a projection. Yesterday it was a projection. It is not going to last. So, what the scriptures tell us again and again is suffering of the body and mind of a finite body, nobody can stop. Nobody can stop because we are part of the world. You see, the world has got a certain plan. We cannot stop that plan. Arrow has been shot. It will reach the target. So there are certain ways you can reduce your sufferings, but we cannot put an end to it. That is why prayer is extremely important. Just pray, oh Lord, there are certain situations which are helpless situations. I find this prayer very useful, that there are helpless situations where I don't have any control, absolutely no control. And these... Yeah, somebody is trying to say something.
It's a
Okay, so what I was saying is, Akshay, you need to face some of these helpless situations. During that time, the only knowledge which I can say which will help you is, this is also a transient experience, let me go through it. That's all. And I will seek the Lord's help to go through in the best possible way. Not easy, but that is the only solution which the Acharyas, the great saints, have taught us. Any other? Akshay, is it clear?
Yes, yes, somewhat. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Shekarji,
Bolo. Yes, Ram Kumar.
this for Shravanam, purity of the mind. You said no karma yoga, upasana yoga, that sadhana chatushtya, samadhama.
Yeah.
All these things, Shraddha, Bhakti, Viveka, Vairagya, and Mumukshutvam. Only when you practice all these things, you'll be able to do Shravanam of Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra under a guru.
Okay, you see, it's like this. Nobody will be having 100% Viveka, 100% Vairagyam, 100% Shraddha. Nobody will have it. Each one of us has to a limited extent, and then what happens is, with some Shraddha, with some Bhakti, and some Viveka, little bit, you should come to Vedanta. It's not that I should completely have full Shraddha, full Viveka, full Vairagyam, and then only I should come. That is not the rule. These are all said in Tattva Bodha so that you can become aware that there is something called as Viveka between real and unreal, Vairagyam from the unreal to the real. Mumukshutvam means I should be clear of the 4 Purusharthas. These are all taught to a student so that he gets some background information of where he should be starting from. It gives me the background. That is why Tattva Bodha is used as a background. Then you come to Shravanam for the Gita, Upanishads. It will help you. These are all a standard way in which you should do Brahma Vidya. This is the Gurukulam method. Some people come directly and they just come to Upanishad talk directly. Some people come directly to Brahma Sutra also, Vichara Sagara also. Some people come with Panchadasi, so many things. But general rule is come in a systematic way. There is a system, there is a methodology. If you come through that, you'll find it easy path. The path becomes easy to follow. That's all. So Ram Kumar, does it answer your question?
Yeah. It will not create any deep knowledge, no.
No. You see,
create a only information.
Sorry?
It will not create any deep knowledge. If
okay. No. Yeah. See, what happens is
information. That's all.
Okay. See, in a text like Vichara Sagara, there the teacher tells the student that repeated Shravanam. Okay, you have come up to Vedanta, you have come to Upanishad. Then the teacher, the same question what you are asking, the student is asking. There the student is saying, I don't have Viveka, I don't have so much whatever you are saying. Why should I study the Upanishad? Why should I keep coming for the classes? There the teacher says very clearly, repeated Shravanam will increase your Viveka Shakti, will increase your Vairagyam, will increase your Mumukshutva. Once you have entered Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, keep listening to it again and again. So all the qualifications which you are lacking today, by repeated Shravanam, you will gain that, you will get rid of that deficiency and you will become powerful.
Hello.
This is the answer.
Hello.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes, Shekarji, does Shravanam leads to liberation?
Oh yes, Direct liberation is only during Shravanam, nothing else. Nididhyasnam is Mananam, Nididhyasnam. These are all for people who are not able to get liberation during Shravanam. Tattvamasi, Aham Atma, I am Atma, Brahma. These are all direct revelations to the student. If you have done Shravanam correctly, that will give you pure liberation while listening to the teacher. No need for meditations and no need for nididhyasana if your mind is pure. Like Karpura intellect. You just burn you just light the Karpura, it will fire up. Similarly, if your mind is so pure, come and listen to the scriptures. Like for example, today's mantra. There are some students who might have got a glimpse of the Atma. I'm sure out of this group, there'll be one or two of you, oh, this is what is Atma. They must have got the glimpse. Now that is what is called as moksha. How to keep that, whatever you have realized as your nature, as a nishtha, as something which I should keep it all the time, that takes time. For that, you need some other practices.
Thank you, Swami.
Thank you. Okay, there's some long question, sir, as a Lord by wealth. Okay. How to find the right guru? Good question. See, when the time is right, your guru will stand right in front of you. That's it. Don't go in search for gurus. They will come right in front of you. They will teach you the Brahma Vidya as per when your time is right. They will stand before you and you will get it. You're right. When the Upanishad says by wealth this cannot come, by progeny you cannot get Brahma Vidya, but only by study. Only by systematic study of the Veda under the guidance of a guru, you will get Brahma Vidya. And you don't have to go and search for the guru. When your time is right, Ishvara will provide a guru right in front of you and you will start. Maybe take all these sessions as preparations. That's all. Don't worry about it. It will come. Leave it to God. There are, like I said, there are certain things we have to leave it to a higher principle in life. This is one of it. What do you recommend for discrimination while the mind becomes unclear? Oh, how to get rid of delusion is what she's asking, Mariam. See, when the mind is unclear, the best I can recommend is if you are able to develop the art of meditation. Suppose you find yourself very confused most of the times. Okay, many of us, we feel that. For those people, what you should do is slowly start sitting for meditation 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, slowly. Watch your mind. Just sit and watch your mind. Sit and watch your mind. Because we are confused because I'm not in control of my mind. The only way I can get control over my mind is by watching my mind. What is his mind up to all the time? Making tantrums, giving me delusions of the world. That is what is the job of the mind. The Upanishad is what gives me clarity about the Sakshi, the seer, the witness of the mind. I have to become the witness more and more to control my mind, which is always suffering from discrimination between right and wrong, good and bad, So many types of, these are all things, or these are all characteristics of the mind. So the direct answer to your question is slowly start developing a taste for meditation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, this viveka, these fourfold qualifications. When one does not have 100% these four qualifications or sixfold qualification treasures. I mean, what is in Tattva Buddha and other texts is said. For me, personally, I mean, I cannot sit until all these qualifications are there, and then I begin my study. I don't know how to. I feel that it is very. It is in my past. It is better, but I think it is. For example, in a particular case, that my mind goes away, it blows away when it passes before me in this situation when it's repeated. I think that my mind blows away. I try to look at it and see what is behind this unclarity, but I would love to come over it. I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand, Mariam. See, basically, we all have a feeling, and we all have the experience of what you are experiencing. It's not that it's new. It's not that the whole group, for example, everybody has a similar feeling. You're expressing it, and many people do not express it. Now, see, so number one is you should not think that I should wait till I get my complete viveka, vairagya, and all that. So that is point number one. You should be very clear. Don't wait till you have the full clarity and then try to enter into all this study and things like that. Okay. Point number two is, if I need to bring clarity to my mind and have better control over my mind, I have to practice. It is not an overnight thing, but it can be done. It is useful. And one of the best methods which I have personally found is, whenever my mind is clouded, what I will do, I will take a piece of paper in front of me, and then I will write down. These are what my mind is saying, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the plus, this is the minus. When I try to write down my thoughts, it gives me more clarity. I'm just giving you a practical example, a practical suggestion, that whenever your mind is not clear about a subject, one is you try to write down in a small sheet of paper. You try to project your whole mind in one sheet of paper. Don't write 10 pages and 20 pages. One sheet of paper where you can look at it, write down the main points which are coming into your mind about that particular subject. This exercise itself will give you, oh, this is what I should do. I have found this method very useful. It is practical, it is useful. This is a simple step for all of us, which we can try. Meditation, this and all, is a slightly longer method. It is a step in the right direction, but it may take time. You should have the time, and you should have the inclination to sit down and so on, but that will take time. But practical steps is, understand that my mind is crowded. That is the biggest benefit you have. You know that my mind is crowded. Then the second thing is, how do I get rid of it? Getting rid of it is one suggestion is this. And the second suggestion I would like to say is, talk it over with somebody. Suppose you have a friend. If possible, take the topic and discuss with a friend. It will give you more clarity. This is the second step. Third step is, don't take impulsive actions and tell your mind, okay, let me now not take immediate action. Let me think about it. Let me brood over it. After 1 or 2 days, let me take the decision. So 1, 2, 3, try to follow. I'm sure it will give you some success.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mariam. Thank you. Oh, it was a very good session today. A lot of interesting questions, very beautiful questions. Yeah, Deepak, tell me.
There is one verse which says that has got me a bit confused. This is regarding that the Atma, nothing springs out from the Atma, you know, it remains by, and I just immediately about, if Brahman is the source of this creation, then so is the Atma with the Upadhi,
Yeah.
So why is that particular verse says that, you know, Atma is, nothing comes out of Atma?
Yeah, see, what we have to understand is, the ultimate truth is that this whole creation is false, is mithya.
Okay.
Because this is mithya, it is an appearance only, nothing is really coming out and nothing is really getting dissolved, you know. So this is the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth is, but initially what we tell students, the whole world is there, the world is existing, and the karanam for the world is Brahman. This is the initial phase. But the final truth is, the whole world is a karyam, it is a product, it is an appearance like a dream. Dream is a product. It is an effect of the mind. Mind is the karanam. So similarly, Atma is on the substratum of the pure Brahman. This whole projection is coming. It is only an appearance. It is not a reality. It is unreal. So we should differentiate between real and unreal. Unreal is something which is experienced, which appears, which is useful. It can have novelty. It can have transactability, but it is not the truth. The truth is only pure Aksharam Brahma. In that Brahman, from that Brahman, it alone is Kaivalyam. There is no world. In that there is no world, there is no prana, there is no manaha. So if there is no prana and manaha, where is the world?
I've understood.
From the world standpoint, when you look at it, Brahman is a karana. From Brahman's standpoint, when you look at it, there is no world.
I've understood. The ritual part, the karma kanda, is part of limited to the Vyavaharika.
Yes, it is limited to the Vyavahara. Many people are interested only in the Vyavaharika world. They are not at all interested in the subject and all that. For them, okay, karma kanda is useful. That's all. But Veda Purva Bhaga, the ritual part is useful. It will give you results. But if you have a curiosity to go beyond the world which we are experiencing, then only you come to Vedanta.
So what? Yeah. So basically, what the seers and the sages had started off by saying that how you can lead this life more happier, more richer.
Yes, dharmic way,
and all this,
and get worldly benefits.
Worldly benefits. But then they said that if you want to go beyond that and get to know the Satchitanandam, then you need to go beyond this.
Yes.
So it means that rituals is really not, as part of Advaita Vedanta, rituals is not even to be considered. I mean,
yes, when you come to Advaita Vedanta, the entire Dvaitam has to be rejected.
Yeah.
Not as non, it is not that it is non-existing. It is existing, but in a lower, as a lower reality. Vyavaharika, that is what we call it as Vyavaharika Satya. Seemingly it is there, but really it is not there. That difference between seeming and real, you should make it in your own intellect. That's all.
thank you.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. Understanding and digesting the world as mithya is the biggest challenge for all seekers. But it is not an impossible task. If you study the Upanishads for 4 or 5 years, you will be able to understand this mithya. Your intellect will understand for sure. Many people have done it. You can also do it. It is not impossible. Mithya, don't get carried away. What is this mithya? What is this maya? But your intellect will pick up. The more you listen to what is the reality, then this mithya will become more easy to understand. Like reality means what? Understanding the pure nature of mind as Atma. More and more, let me think of Atma. The more and more you expose your mind to these indicators of Atma, what happens is the confusions in your mind, the vrittis which are projecting all doubts, they all will vanish. This happens. It is
Hello.
this happens.
Very
And
well, sir. Ji. Yes, sir.
okay, but am I clear?
Yes, yes, wonderful. Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else has any other question? If not, we'll stop here. It's quite some time. We'll continue the Upanishad. It's a very beautiful mantra we are doing right now. And you can listen to the balance portion next week. Thank you. Good night.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you.